Leo Savage. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Got the matches, about to set the game on fire. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage. Leo Savage.
What's up, guys?
Got the matches, about to set the game on fire.
Me.
Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage.
What's on my left shoulder?
Got the matches, about to set the game on fire. Yeah. Got the heat, feel your face glow.
What's on both my shoulders?
Still Mace flow. So seamless.
What is up, my friends? Welcome.
Bounce up when you get knocked down. Got the game on lockdown. Rock out. Better core
It's not
engagement.
special round.
The
Heads
game
up.
about to change it. Rise to the occasion. Let's get it. Yeah. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Going all the way in. We about to smash it.
Mace-Icis.
Leo Savage.
What is the
Savage.
Mace-Icis?
Got the matches about to set the
Mace-Icis
game on
is a
fire.
brand new word, man.
Leo Savage. Leo Savage.
Brand new.
Going all the way in. We about to
That's
smash it. Leo Savage. Leo Savage. Got the matches about to set the game on fire.
Could you turn it down just a bit? I mean, we know that song hits, but lower it, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Still Makes Flow Education 24. Oh, wait. I don't know if I'm supposed to be, dancing this hard. Guys, still, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Leo Savage song is over. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for Steel Mates Mace-Icis. My name is, well, most people call me Leo Savage. You guys can also, you better call me Coach Leo Savage. Some people call me Thank You for whatever reason. Weirdest thing. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope everybody is having a great day. I hope you're having such a good day. I mean, I really hope you're having a good day, but I hope, I'm just going to be real with you, I hope you're not having a better day than me. I hope I am having the best day ever. I know they say that more than one person can have the best day ever at the same time, but that's not how fucking math works, okay? One person gets to have the best day ever. That's it. All right? And that's me. Okay, you know what? You're right. It's a long day. Let's share this amazing Saturday together. And how are we going to do that? I'll tell you how. With episode 24, Steel Mace Flow Education, Mace-Icis. I feel like there should be a song. Mace-Icis. You know, I don't know. Maybe, what do you guys think? You guys think Coach should jump into the show business, become a singer? I don't think so. Let me get my camera to stop. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's Saturday. Listen, you're supposed to be sleeping in, or if you woke up, you're supposed to be stuffing your face with cereal, okay? Yeah, you're supposed to be eating cereal, watching fucking cartoons, learning about life. But no, you woke up, teamed up with your coach. Why? Because you want to learn. Mace-Icis. Trips me out that we're on 24. 24, episode 24. We haven't done any Mace-Icis. Does that trip you out? Well, let's get into today's education. And look, today's going to be one of those days that we don't take up a lot of room, but notice me. Zoom in over here. You don't want to see this. You don't want to see this, guys. Can I get the zoom in? Come on. We're going to walk over here to the door. And as always, lock it. Make sure nobody creeps up on me during my mace practice. You guys know how important the mace practice is to me. Can't be having people sneak up on us. Tim, move your goddamn coffee table. Thank you. Tim, move your coffee table. Can someone let Tim know that we don't have coffee tables where we mace? That you got to move it? Okay, maybe Tim's not in. Whoop! Camera 1. Camera 2. I think we're ready to go. I think we're ready to flow. All right, so I want to get with you guys today on a little bit of Mace-Icis, of course. I want to teach you guys some basics. Now, whenever I teach basics, it's just, remember, it's an idea of how you can do things. It's not the only way it should be done. Matter of fact, steel mace flow was created by not doing it the way I was told. Right? I just did it my own way. So you guys continue the tradition and do it your own way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through 5 basic moves. Five basic moves. That's it. I'm a firm believer that if I can teach you 5 basic moves, that I can really teach you anything in steel mace. There's so much vocabulary, there's so much education in the 5 basic moves that they quickly turn into advanced moves. Now, not only am I going to show you how to do the moves, but I'm going to show you positionally how you should be thinking as a mace artist. Take that back. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you some ideas, some concepts on positional awareness that you can use or not use. Okay, and this is how I teach my students. You guys are my students. I'm your coach, and so this is how life is going to go today. Let's talk about position. It's like they say in jiu-jitsu, position before submission. All right, first thing we're going to do is talk a little bit about philosophy. Okay, in today's philosophy, you're a student, you're a warrior student. This is you. Today, your job as a basic mace student or basic mace coach, whatever, wherever you're at, I want you to move the mace around, which is contrary to the mace moving you around. In level 1, in my very basics, there's a couple different concepts, and one of them is to hold your place. And one of the ways we really develop strength, I mean tangible, real motherfucking strength. I know I'm not supposed to cuss, but I'm into it, okay? Motherfuck, fuck, shit, fuck. I'm gonna cuss, all right? One of the ways that we grow in strength is by holding our position firmly and not letting the mace move us. So it's your mace's job to move you. It's your job to not fucking move, okay? I want you to hold your place this whole time. And before we get into that, we're going to talk about your standing structure. Yes, your standing structure. One of the first moves that I think we've all seen with the mace that we really liked was like the 360. And you guys know what the 360 is? You don't know what the 360 is? You've been watching this channel for 24 episodes. You don't know what the 360 is? This is 360. This is it. This is a 360. The 360 is like universally the first move I think people try whenever they pick up a mace. What do you guys think? You guys agree or you guys disagree? And we're going to show you a couple different concepts on swinging your 360, but what I want you to think about is doing a 360 and not moving anywhere. We're going to be working with 3, possibly 4 vectors of rotation. We're going to be working with purposeful rotation. And I know these can actually get a little bit confusing, and the reason why they can be confusing is because they all connect. You can't have one without the other. You have purposeful rotation, which is where you choose to rotate. You have anti-rotation, which a lot of times is what I do with the mace, putting pressure into the mace to help create straight lines. And then you have counter rotation, which is what I do with my body to stop it from rotating. Let's kind of give you an example of that. First thing I'm going to do is, and I want you guys to do this with me, is we're going to do a little bit of wavy, whacking, inflatable arm man. I'm sure everybody's done this. And you can't really see my feet super well because my camera angle, but you can see that I am pivoting off my toes and letting this rotation happen. I'm letting the rotation happen. This is called purposeful rotation, and we will apply this to the mace. Next thing we're going to talk about is counter rotation. All right, so I'm going to do the same wacky waving inflatable arm man deal. However, this time I'm going to lock my hips in place, lock my legs in place. I'm going to flex into the ground, and I'm going to counter rotation. All right, so I'm going to stand with my feet facing straight. I'm going to have a nice soft bend in my knees. And from there, I'm going to take my pelvis and I'm going to rotate it forward just a little bit to where your tailbone tucks directly under you. You should feel a bit of a flex in your glutes, which is a good thing. When your glutes flex, it sends a signal to your spine that it is on a stable platform. From there, I'm going to take my legs, and like I said, I'm going to flex into the ground. I'm going to try to separate the floor with my legs. And so now I am flexed into the ground. And when I do my wavy, whacking, inflatable arm thing, you can see where I have countered the rotation by locking myself in place. Good morning. What is up, Ireland? Happy Saturday, Tommy. I don't know if that is morning, but as you can see, we have counter rotated. We're locking ourselves in place. We're using counter rotation, and the rest of our body, we are using purposeful rotation. Boom. So counter rotation, purpose rotation, that has to do with your body. Now we're going to get into the mace and learn a little bit of anti-rotation. If I was going to hold a mace, let's exaggerate a little bit. And the mace in this particular position has a definite leverage. Hey, Mike, what is up, man? I am so happy you're here. This is a very educational day. I think we're going to have a good time, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm a big Street Fighter fan. All right, so getting back into it, anti-rotation, holding my bar in this press position with the lever of disadvantage. If I'm not applying pressure to the mace, anti-rotation is what that is called, pressure to the mace, it starts to look like this. Now, I might be counter-rotating in my hips and keeping my core tall, but I need to apply pressure to the mace, to the actual mace, to help keep straight lines. And so what I do is I grip my mace and I use isometric pressure. Isometric pressure is when I'm pressing my hands in together. And then there is the opposite of that, where I'm pulling my hands apart, which is usually pretty easy, unless you have a mace. Now that I have a mace and I grip it really tight and I start to crush the mace or drive my hands inward, it stabilizes the mace. And I am fighting the rotation in the mace. We call this anti-rotation. Okay? Counter-rotation, anti-rotation, purposeful rotation. The further the mace head is out from the body, the more force I'm going to need to stabilize my body and the mace. The closer the mace is to me, well, I don't need that much force. Anti-rotation can take form in many instances. It is not something that you have to have two hands on your mace and you are ripping it apart. Sometimes anti-rotation is done without a gripping hand. Okay. Anti-rotation, purposeful rotation, counter-rotation. What does it all mean? Well, once we get into, let me drop my camera a little bit. Once we get into what it all means, we can start teaching some moves. Talking about our lower half, let's just go back into the feet. We're going to talk about our standing structure. We've talked a little bit about what I should do from the hips down, but we really haven't talked about the core up. So we'll start again with our feet facing straight. We're going to have a soft bend in our knees. We're going to tuck our hips in until our tailbone points straight down. You should feel a little flex in your glutes, and then we're going to try to separate the floor. All right, now with a good flex in your legs, a good flex in your glutes, what I want you to do is any mace move you want. Literally, any mace move you want, I'm going to do 360s. Because my hips are locked into the floor, there's no rotation, but as you can see, the top of my body is swinging left to right with lateral flexion. And there's nothing wrong with swinging with lateral flexion. This is a great way to develop core. But your job today in your basics class is to hold the center line, not to swing back and forth. By me holding the center line, I'm working a different type of external load. Well, it's not really external load, it's more of internal torque. The moment I tip my mace out and try and keep my body aligned, I start to download the torque driven into my system from this long levered mace. And how do you keep your core still? Well, we'll talk about that. It's fairly simple. Our feet face straight, our knees are softly bent, our hips tuck in, we flex into the floor. From there, take your ribs and press them down into your hips. Now, what might happen is you might hunch over. If you catch yourself hunching over, it's okay. All that means is we are flexed in our abs. Once our abs are flexed, what I want you to do is lengthen your spine as tall as you can while keeping your flex. This is weird. Typically, when I try to grow as tall as I can, I lock my legs out and I do a little bit of flexion. I stick my chest out to try and get as tall as I can. I want you to do that basically. However, knees bent, hips tucked in, flex into the ground, and instead of your ribs flaring, your ribs are tucked down and in, and I lengthen through the spine. You should feel a super big flex in your core. You should feel your obliques tightening, you're flexing, and you're stretching the flex out. This is called tensegrity, like tension and integrity. And the more tension I can create, the more integrity, the shapes I'm trying to hold are put together, will hold in place. Now, I'm going to do another 360, but this time I'm going to have a flex in my legs into the floor, and I'm going to have a lengthening flex in my core. Wait, hips flex, core flex, hold it. So now, feet are locked in, hips are locked in, legs are locked in, glutes are locked in, abs are tight, ribs and hips are trying to touch, but I'm lengthening my spine the whole time. And now, when I swing, the mace is gently, barely moving me, and I'm holding my place, as opposed to option 1, option 2. You should do option 1, and you should do option 2. Matter of fact, you should funnel rotation all the way down to the floor. And so, the object is not to just swing and stay in place, but the object is to learn a basic idea of working from within. I'm going to limit the movement I have, and I'm going to do a move. Rather than being a slinky and applying moves to it. I like slinkies. Nothing against any slinky people out there, okay? All right, so that is the standing structure. Let's go ahead and take our standing structure and let's add some moves to it. The first move we're going to learn, and it's a very simple move, it's called a ballistic curl, and I'm sure you've done it before, tried to do it before. If not, you've probably done it on this channel. Okay. Oh, did I not hit my camera position? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. There it is. All right, the first move we're going to learn is called a ballistic curl. Ballistic curl, whenever I say ballistic, to me, that means explosive. So we're going to do an explosive curl, and here's how this is going to start out. Hey, I notice I'm coming through a little laggy, maybe. How's everything coming through for you guys? Give me a thumbs up if I'm coming through okay. Looks like I got a bit of lag, but show goes on. All right, now while you're doing this move, it is your duty to remain still as can be in the places we have elected to be still using counter rotation. We're going to load our mace by using anti-rotation. And we're going to let some things move using purposeful rotation. However, we're going to stop the rotation in a certain place, we are not going to funnel rotation to the floor. Let's go ahead and start out in what I like to call landmark 2. Landmark 2 is about your solar plexus. You can always measure a very accurate landmark 2 by meeting with both arms at right angles. What that means is from shoulder to elbow, I'm stationed downward, and from elbow to knuckle, I have a straight line. And that's true on both sides. I'll give you a bad example. I'm going to lower my mace just a little bit, and now you can see the bends of my armpits, which probably means I'm not at a true right angle, but my knuckles are a little lower than my elbows. So we want to try and create a very parallel line to the floor. From this position, we are going to grab our mace and we're going to use some anti-rotation. Now this is fun. I think this is probably where, man, I got lost doing this for years. And I got very strong doing it, so I hope you enjoy. Holding the mace, bottom and top, I'm going to assign my legs their locked out position. I'm going to gently bend them to where I can flex them to the floor. I'm going to tuck my tailbone underneath me. I'm going to grip my mace, and I'm going to pull it apart hard as I can without my elbows flaring. Looks like this. Now I am using a lot of my muscle, like I said, to try to tear the mace apart. If I apply tension to the mace, what is that called? Counter rotation? Purposeful rotation? Or anti-rotation? Mace move Murph. You are right. Tommy, you're right. It is called anti-rotation. Anti-rotation. When I'm in landmark 2, I use anti-rotation. I try to rip the mace apart. From there, much like wringing out a towel, my hand is going to rotate through the handle, and my top hand is going to keep a firm grip on the top. From there, I'm going to slide my hand up into my prayer position. I'm going to go into my crossbody top position, and then again, I'm going to end up in landmark 2, and I'm going to wring the mace out. I'm really going to try to twist it. And I'm going to repeat. Guys, this is called the ballistic curl. Crossbody top, praying hands, crossbody top, landmark 2. Now, whenever I first teach a move to my students, like the ballistic curl, I assign the positions in between. It is hard to coach a move that is in motion. It is hard to coach and assign movements in ballistic positions. However, if you slow down the movement, you can identify the safe places that the mace is supposed to be as it transitions from right hand to left hand. And this, it's easy. It's called a ballistic curl. Ballistic curl. All right. And let's back you up for a little bit further. Education. Back it on up, y'all. Back up. Get back. Get back. Yeah, so you got to get down too. You got to get back and down. Oh, I guess it's on. Is it on? What the fuck is happening here? Oh, I see what I did. I tapped the wrong mode. Apologies, guys. There we go. All right, so let's do something and take our ballistic curl for a squat. All right, so in my ballistic curl, the mace, of course, is in front of me. Never once does it travel behind me. We're going to go over two different angles of approach. If I'm squatting and I have something on my back, like a barbell or a mace, when I squat, I have much more of an angle from my hips to my back. This is a fairly good squat. If I have something in front of me and I squat, I tend to have a much more verticalized squat. Why is that? Well, because that's how you're supposed to squat. If you're squatting with something in front of you, in order for it not to fall forward, you need to keep a vertical spine. If I hinge too much, what starts to happen is the weight starts to fall instead of staying over my knees. And so, if you're back loaded, I tend to squat with a little bit of a hinge. If you're front loaded, I tend to squat verticalized as can be. And so we're going to take our ballistic curl, which is a very basic, simple move, and we're going to add a controlled squat to it. Guys, this one's relatively easy as far as technique goes, but I can make it very difficult on the system. I'm going to take my mace and I'm going to perform the same ballistic curl that I have been. This time I'm going to use a lot of pressure to try and rip my mace apart. I'm going to use that anti-rotation idea. The whole time my mace is in landmark 2. I'm going to use a technique called acceleration-deceleration. I'm going to accelerate to a point and then decelerate to a point, and that point is going to be crossbody top. I'm going to accelerate and then decelerate in this final margin. I'm going to accelerate and then decelerate. Now, as I'm doing my deceleration from crossbody top to landmark 2, I'm going to be wringing my mace out like a towel and pulling apart, of course, when it gets into landmark 2, but I'm going to start to squat. I do my acceleration. My mace is in crossbody top. And now, as I start to lower my mace into position, I lower myself into position. I'm going to stand up into crossbody top, switch the mace to the other side to crossbody top, grip my mace, rip it apart, and slowly squat down. Now, there's a couple things that are happening when I squat, and I'm going to face a front-facing angle so you can see what's happening. For starters, I angle my feet out just a tiny bit. What that does is it helps open my hips and allows me to get my hips more underneath me than behind me. So let's take a look at that. I accelerate, I decelerate, and you see how my knees are pressing to the side? That allows me to get my hips underneath me, under my squat. Now with time, you can definitely keep your feet facing straight and accomplish that same verticalized squat. But for now, what I'd like for you to do is just make things easy. Angle out your toes just a tiny bit. As you start to squat, try to keep your hips underneath you. Let's give it a side angle. This is a front squat with a verticalized spine. This is a back squat with a lot more of a pitch. Front squat, back squat. Now in either squat, front squat or back squat, I'm still doing everything I can to hold on to the tension. All right, let's keep going. And this will be a good day for your legs. If you guys haven't worked out your legs this week, it's going to be a good one. Guys, come with me to the floor. All right, next thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead and get into a lunge. It doesn't matter if it's forward or back, but I want you to think of a forward lunge. Now, working out the steel mace can be about creating beauty, can be about creating swirls and stories, but it takes a lot of foundation to get there. And so we're going to work a little bit more on foundation in your lunge technique. We're going to apply counter rotation to your lunge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do as much as I can to create straight lines. And we'll just start with our lead foot. What I look for when I'm coaching somebody is for straight lines. It's that simple. The ankle to the knee is 100% vertical as opposed to a negative shin angle or a positive shin angle. My other leg, which is on the floor, and we're going to remove it here in a second, is in the same format. My ankle to my knee, once I verticalize, is in 100% straight line. My heel over the pad of my foot is in 100% straight line. My knee underneath my hip, all the way up into my spine, is in this straight line. All right, so here's the question. Once I start swinging around a mace, what's going to happen to my structure? Well, let's take a look. You know what? Let's use a real heavy mace for this one. Here I am. I'm in my lunge, and I'm swinging. Ugh. I'm on this narrow platform, and I swing my mace. I'm all over the place. I'm doing a bad job at doing a bad demo. Okay, I am. Honestly, not my best bad work ever. Oh wait, can you back up? Thank you. Just thank you. So what I do is as I go into my forward lunge, I apply counter rotation to the floor. My lead foot is pushing forward, my rear foot is pushing back, and it's like I'm trying to separate the floor again. And so now you can see my leg is flexed. I am locked into the ground. And so no matter what the move, I'm not moving anywhere. Whether it's a ballistic curl or a 360, I am locked into place. I have a solid foundation, and so it should be easy for me to start adding moves into steps or lunges. Man, I am getting super bad meter reader on my sharing software, so I hope this is coming through okay. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do one ballistic curl, and we're going to take a forward step. We're going to lock ourselves in place in all our different positions to make a little bit of a workout. Here's the deal. I'm going to start off in landmark 2. I'm going to do one switch. From there, whatever side the weight is on, which in this case is my right foot, I'm going to take a step forward. As I lower myself into position, I'm going to rip my mace apart and use my legs to apply pressure to the floor. That way, I can hold my space. And all this is a forward lunge and a ballistic curl. It probably looks a lot different if I'm not using anti-rotation, counter-rotation, and purposeful rotation. Probably looks more like this. How was my bad work there? It's good? It's good bad work? Yes, yes. The beauty of steel mace flow is in the fight. You have the opponent, yourself, the mace, whichever way you want to look at it, which is trying to bend you and fold you. And then you have yourself, which is trying to hold your ground, maintain a tall, neutral spine. I think it's a metaphor for life, and I really appreciate that. There you are trying to do the right thing, trying to hold the narrow and the neutral, and then along comes rotational forces that try and move you around, and you don't move. Instead, you lock it down. Beautiful. Guys, that is the ballistic curl with the squat and the ballistic curl with the front step. That is as far as we're going to take it today. I don't want to eat up a lot of your time. I know it's Saturday. However, I think Mace-Icis is so much fun, man. Mace-Icis, so much fun. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again, and we're going to do it again. One thing I was asked for from my YouTube friends, you guys, is if I could, please, Leo, could you do a Q&A? So I'm going to hang around just for a bit. And if you guys have any questions about the standard techniques, feel free. You know what, fuck it. Whatever questions you got, ask away, and I'll be happy to answer. Yes, I know that my beard is gone also. Thank you guys so much for telling me about the beard. It left me. Okay. Well, it's Saturday. I'm looking forward to an awesome day. There's a UFC going on. So I'm going to stay up a little late. It's in Australia. There's a UFC in Australia. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to stay up late, which means I'm going to need to take a daytime nap so I can stay up that late. Anybody else that old that you got to take naps to stay up late? Or is it just me? Might be just me. Okay, well, Guys, Mace-Icis, super easy, super simple, one move. We're going to, of course, keep the series going with episode 25, and we're going to dive a little bit more into the Mace-Icis Sunday special. Sunday, baby. We can do a Sunday special. As I can see that there are no questions, I'm going to go ahead and close out the show. But before I leave, I would like to thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for showing up on Saturday and going over some Mace-Icis with me. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you thought. As always, I can't thank you guys enough for supporting me. If you would like to contribute to the channel, please click your like button. Also, subscribe. Also, if you don't want to be late, JLid, turn on your notifications, and we will. You will never miss us ever again. Okay, that's it. Yeah, hit that like button. Comment where you're from. Yeah, I think I spelled Mace-Icis and special wrong today, guys. I think I did. Let's check. Icis. Mace-Icis. Mace-Icis. You know. Mace-Icis.
Leo Savage, going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage, Leo Savage, got the matches by to set that game on fire, yeah. Leo Savage, Leo Savage, going all the way in, we about to smash it. Leo Savage, Leo Savage, got the matches.
Much love, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you guys next time.